Well, welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Heather Frierson, and I'm your host of the Business Spotlight podcast. And today I have another Heather with us, Heather Gaunt Schmidt, founder of Sensibility. And she's going to be sharing all about her business journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and really just share a sneak peek of what it's like to own and operate a business. So if this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss anytime a new conversation drops just like this one. Well, Heather, welcome to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thanks, Heather. I'm so happy to be here and just share my love and experience of numbers and helping people.
I love that. Well, we have to say how we chatted before the show, how we didn't know if we should call each other by our names since we have the same name, and we're just going to go with it and let people figure it out and learn our voices and our faces. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. Well, let's just set the stage for everyone. If you could just share a little bit about, who you are and give us just a brief background of Sensibility.
I founded Sensibility Bookkeeping in 2003, and it has grown and morphed to consulting and recently into coaching. And I relaunched the name as Sensibility Financial Solutions.
Mm,
And that's what I love to do, is to create solutions for my clients, get them there faster, break down the walls and overcome those mindset blocks that are holding you back
mhm.
from reaching your financial goals and vision.
I love that. I'm writing that down because I think that's so important. You said the mindset blocks.
Mhm.
And I'm sure, and you said since 2003, 20 plus years, you've seen so many blocks that people have about money. What are some of the two or three top things that you've noticed in your clients that can hold us back?
I think fear is a
Mm,
huge thing. And then when that could be a fear of scarcity, a fear of success,
mm,
a fear of failure.
mm,
And anything rooted in fear is the opposite of where you need to be going in
mm,
peace and love and growth. And, I'm Christian based, so I bring out a lot of biblical principles
mm,
and the stewardship aspect of managing the finances that God has given to us. We don't need to be afraid because He already owns everything.
mm.
We're just managing His money, so
So good.
and I love that aspect that we don't have to live within that fear, that we can just live within his peace and joy. Now, will we find hurdles? Yes. Will we have potholes in the road? Yes. But it's a pathway that if you have a guide with a good GPS, you can get there, you can work over the
Mhm.
potholes. You may have to wait through some roadblocks, but if there's a waiting period, I mean, you and I both had babies. There's a
Yeah,
waiting period, but there's a greater joy on the other side.
that's so good. I love how you told us the three areas: scarcity, which I get that, success, which I think is a shocker to probably many, and failure, which I think is normal. Lean into that success area a little bit. What does that look like if people are fearful of success?
I think especially as solopreneurs, mompreneurs, we have a fear that, oh, I'm going to get so successful, then I'm going to start missing out on life because I'm going to get
Mm,
so busy. Um, or they're not sure exactly what success looks like for them. And my success and your success may not exactly have the same definition,
mm,
you know. And definitely, when they started small computer companies in their garages, they weren't thinking about going multi-billion company. And then I've met mompreneurs that have been in business over 10 years, and now they've morphed the company into strictly coaching when it was small little group sessions. So things grow. You don't have to fear success. It's
mm,
almost like what failure is. It's just, oh, that was working. Now the market shifted. What do I need to do next?
Mm,
Sort of like when I started 20 years ago, I started as a bookkeeper. And that's all I did. I did payroll, bookkeeping. I don't do any of that now.
mm,
It's like I'm I'm a I'm a coach that does one-on-one and one to group, and you get me. You get a seat at my table
mm,
versus send me your books. We may talk once a year. We may talk by email, but there's a lot
yeah.
more intimacy there. So fearing success is just fearing the unknown.
Oh,
And you don't have to fear what's unknown because, well, God's already there. So if I trust him, then I trust he's
mhm,
going to lead me down a good path. And again, like I talked earlier about having a guide to take you through roadblocks on
yeah.
your GPS journey, usually that guide is a few steps ahead of you. And that's who you want to be in the room with. You want to be in the
Mm,
room with people steps ahead of you so that you're not the biggest person in the room. Now,
mm,
yes, you want to mentor and do that, but I think that sort of takes the fear away when you're in a room where you're thinking, man, 3 million, that'd be great. And the person next to you is thinking, oh, let's see if I can get up to 50 million this year. And it's like, wow, did they say 50? And so I think easing that fear down is just acknowledging it
mm-hmm.
and then being able to say it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone to where I want to be, which is
Yeah,
exactly what failures are too. They're just learning what not to do. And that fear of success is saying this worked. Wait, why is
yeah.
it not working now? So make a pivot and keep moving forward.
I love that. There's so much wisdom in what you just said, just in our first 10 minutes, just so wise. How did this passion start in you over 20 years ago?
Oh, I think it started before 20 years ago.
Mm,
My sisters used to come to me and ask to borrow money because I had, as the Bank of Simon used to say on a TV show. But the Bank of Heather was open and, they were older and I guess they had more ways to spend it, but I was saving up for something bigger,
mm,
and that gets to the personality. Are you a saver or a spender?
mm-hmm,
I've learned through my biblical studies that there's not really a wrong answer. Um,
mm-hmm.
Whether you're a spender or a saver is like, do you want to turn left or right? I mean, neither way is wrong. It will get you there. Um, I had a friend tell me once that her husband's a spender and she's a saver, and he was able to balance her out so that she enjoyed vacations and she wasn't
Mm,
saying, oh, we have to save for this and save for that. But they saved for the vacation so they're not putting it on a credit card and going into debt.
mm-hmm,
They were able to pay for it when they had it. But he's like, hey, let's go do this. Well, that wasn't on the agenda. Well, why are we doing that? And he's like, because it's fun.
yeah.
So he made her a little more spontaneous.
Mm,
Hey babe, let's go out and grab ice cream while we're on our date. Well, that wasn't part of the plan. Well, it's
mm.
okay. We had a date budget and we've got an extra $10. Let's go get some ice cream. We'll share a sundae. And she's learned to just be in the moment and enjoy it
Mm,
more and enjoy that family time and not be stressing about money all the
mm-hmm,
time and not be stressing about those financial decisions. And it all started with accepting you're a spender, I'm a saver.
mm,
Let's just communicate about it. And I think that's the biggest hiccup that I find when I work with even a solo entrepreneur. They're usually married, so they're trying to balance their business and their company. Sorry, their family life and their business. And in order to do that, you have to communicate.
mm-hmm,
You wouldn't expect to be the CEO of your business and not communicate with the CFO. So why are you not communicating with your spouse when it comes to
mm-hmm,
making large financial decisions and
mm-hmm.
how you're going to work the plan or, ooh, scary word,
Yeah.
budget? You know, all it is. It's a
Yeah.
plan. That doesn't have to be scary. but
Yeah.
it's just making decisions in advance that, oh, we're going to get extra money for Christmas, or we're going to get a tax refund. What are we going to do with it? Well, what's
Yeah.
your dream? What have you been saving for? What have you been wanting? And,
I love
and
that.
that's when we get to choose. I don't have to worry about the bills being paid,
Hmm.
but I have this dream and I have this vision and I want to reach that. How do I get there?
Mm.
Well, that's where your guide comes in.
Yeah. I have a feeling you've done a lot of family counseling along the way in your office with couples.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And I've heard just some great success stories and just seen the journey along the way, for sure. What would you say to that maybe solopreneur out there listening that hasn't really had the best relationship with money so far? What would you say are the first steps?
Well, I definitely think if you're a business owner, your first step is to separate your business expenses from your personal expenses.
Hmm.
And if you haven't started there, that's step one. Open a business bank account and you're like, well, I don't really have a business name. It's just me. Okay, go open a second bank account. And if you're always the person that's constantly borrowing from one bank account to another, go to a separate bank. So it's harder to transfer the money over.
That's so
Um,
good.
the second step after that is, with 30 years of accounting, I like to have some set of books set up so that
Hmm.
you can see what's going on, start making proactive financial decisions and not reacting to,
Hmm.
oh, I don't have enough in the bank. Ah, I really wanted to get that, or I wanted to participate in this. And that way you're able to know, all right, something's coming up this summer.
Yeah.
What do I need to make in sales in order to attend that event? What do I need to make in sales in order to purchase more and have enough ready for my clients that are coming up? So building that good foundation, a solid rock foundation of some sort of bookkeeping. And it doesn't mean that
Hmm.
you have to look at it every single day. You can still go to your bank account. But it also allows you to stop mixing personal and business expenses,
Hmm.
which actually saves you time on the back end, sending it to your tax preparer. They're not having to go, was this personal or business? Or you're not having
Oh
to
gosh.
separate it all out.
Yeah.
Thus, the separate bank account. And then you can turn around and pay yourself.
Hmm.
Then you're starting to live not as a paycheck, but a steady amount. And you're
Hmm.
also seeing, oh, these are our personal expenses. And you know what your plan is for your household. You know what that
Hmm.
budget is. And then you're able to start communicating more with your wife and go, oh, don't we have like doctor's appointments coming up, or the kids' sports? You wanted that vacation for your 30th, 40th, dare I say 50th birthday, 25-year anniversary. But it's like making those proactive decisions.
Yeah.
Christmas comes around every year. We all know it does, right? How many people actually put money aside so that they have a couple of hundred for Christmas presents the next
Mm.
year?
That's so good. I
You
have a
know,
friend tell me the other day that she starts shopping for Christmas the month after, and I'm like, that is so smart. She's, I just get a little bit here and there as I find things in sales. I'm like, that takes a lot of stress out in so many ways, not just financial, but just the rush. I wanted
Mhm.
to ask, just listening to you, you talked about what the steps are for a solopreneur. You've been a solopreneur for a while now. What has that afforded you to do as someone that can not only manage your clients, but manage your own time?
Yeah. I love the time freedom, and that's really why I started focusing even more on coaching, especially with all the consulting I was doing. There were many years that I would work part-time on my business and part-time at a CPA firm. And then, COVID rearranged the world years ago, but that was a pivot and a change that you had to make. And I chose to go back into work full time. So then my business goes on the double back burner, like really
Mm,
far away. You're doing like 10 hours a week or less, and you're just
hmm.
basically maintaining the clients
Yeah.
you had, and there was no growth. And it's like, okay, now I feel stale and now I feel stagnant. Um, but the freedom that I had, and I'm gaining back again, is to travel whenever I want. That's one of my
Hmm.
loves. I've got family all over the United States, and now I have family in Europe. And
Yeah.
just to have that freedom, and now that I'm also consulting and coaching, that's a worldwide phenomenon.
Hmm.
I've started gathering friends in um, United Kingdom, Europe, South
Hmm.
Africa, New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
And except for the time differences, maybe you wake up a little bit earlier, you know, 2 a.m. our time is,
Yeah.
noon over there. And but it's great to be able to connect with them and realize they're going through the same things.
Yeah.
But that time freedom allows you to, oh, I'm sorry, I already have an appointment booked at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Well, they don't have to know that appointment is picking up your children from school.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. You just say you
Hmm.
have an appointment and you get to prioritize. I mean, I'm a huge planner if you haven't figured that out, but I'll
Yeah.
grab a paper calendar, and you can do it digitally for all those newbies out there. I'm a little older than you, but I love my paper calendar. And the first thing I did is talking to my husband late December, going, honey, when was that quinceanera we were going to? And when is my niece's wedding? And
Hmm.
okay, what's going on here? And then we're going to visit your friends out in Vegas. And we have the beauty of being able to just pick up and go.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
special.
the main thing that I love about being an entrepreneur, is that I set my time, I set my schedule, and that offers me the freedom to be
Yeah.
here fully, fully enveloped
Hmm.
into who you need me to be. And at the same time, I've learned that you have to set your business hours. You are
Hmm.
not on call 24/7,
Right.
you know. Um, and then I've learned not to read your emails all throughout the day. Set a scheduled time, check them in the morning, check them in the afternoon, or check them every couple of days, depending
Yeah.
on your growth and how you communicate with your clients. So, but those are a couple of tidbits that I've
Yeah.
picked up over the years, and it's been a joy being an entrepreneur and
Hmm.
then watching my journey back into a workforce, coming out of it again and going, I'm choosing never to go back to
Yeah. I
a
love that.
regular job. And not to say that there are people that enjoy that, because
Yeah.
I
You have to have a
believe,
personality for it for sure.
yeah, I believe God has given us each a tool to work with
Hmm.
and to be a good steward of the finances that He gives us. And for some, that means starting businesses, being the dreamer to create it. For some, that means running a business, being the driver behind it,
Hmm.
having the planning, you know, to help those dreams come true, to hold back the driver and keep them in their lane. So they're not
Hmm.
like, hey, let's just go over here. And you're like,
Hmm.
we got to stay in the rules, we got to stay
Yeah.
within the boundaries. And then being flexible enough to learn, this is when we can jump out of the boundary a little bit.
Yeah.
It's that gray area. It's not, we're not going into illegal there,
Yeah.
but it's almost the point of, we're not evading taxes, we're avoiding taxes, as
Mm-hmm.
an example.
That's good.
We
I
can,
love that.
yeah,
You
have a
what? I want to hear that
shortcut, but
sentence.
not like, you know not miss anything by
Yeah.
having the shortcut. So,
I love that. I agree that you have to have that personality and that there are the dreamers and the drivers.
mhm.
And that's so important to know who you are. And I think it's what brings you the most success when you realize that. I want to get back to finances just a little bit because where my mind went is you get to be a solopreneur, you get to travel. So you obviously have invested well, managed well. What are some tips that you can share with our audience of as a solopreneur that isn't under the umbrella of a company that has the 401k that has this and those kind of sweet things that you get with working with for a corporation. What's the advice you give to solopreneurs to make sure they're set up for success in the future?
Well, definitely knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are.
Mhm.
As you start um, connecting yourself with people, if you want to remain a solopreneur and not grow as a company to hire people, then you're
Mhm.
hiring subcontractors.
Mhm.
So, growing that where you're weaker and using their strengths,
Mhm.
so that your business continues to succeed. And then hopefully, like my dream is to have my business go on after me, that I may not be here any longer. So I'm going to train coaches to take over,
Mm.
whether that looks like a franchise or not. I don't know. Whether it looks like hiring employees one day, I don't know, but it's a dream. It's out there.
Wow.
And for me, that means as I get older, that's a retirement plan. I'm going to get paid. I founded this company. I'll show up at a mastermind. I'll show up and do some training, some teachings, but I'm retired. I'm going to be living my
Mhm.
life. I don't know what year that's going to be, but eventually it comes.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've seen many solopreneurs do, they are incorporated or an S corp, LLC, and they'll create retirement funds within their company, working with their tax preparer, legal team.
Mhm.
Yeah, again, they're being subcontractors, but definitely that's who you want to talk to for their expertise of where am I putting this money in, IRAs, or buying real estate
Mhm.
and then turning around and selling it. There's lots of different ways to invest. After you've reinvested into your company and reinvested into your own
Mhm.
family,
Mhm.
it's where do I want to do it? Um, Diversifying,
Yeah.
to enter into where you want to go. I know that some people will partner with other similar solopreneurs or possibly a family member, and then they'll
Mhm.
buy like lakefront rental or
Mm.
beachfront rental, and then they still get to use it, but then it's bringing in an extra
Mm.
income so
Wow.
that at some point, you know, they're not consistently working. But talk about hours that you work as a solopreneur.
Mhm.
I average about 20, 25 hours a week. And that's like working with the clients and working behind the scenes.
Wow. That's great.
And so that is the joy of most people can't get it out of their mindset. They think they have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Well, you can, but again, set your office hours, know
Mhm.
what you're worth because people don't pay an hourly rate to you. They pay you what you're worth. And if you don't know what you're worth, then you don't know what to charge.
Wow.
So,
Pay you what you are worth. I'm writing that down. I've heard that before, but it's always good to hear that again. And I just feel like you dropped so many wise nuggets today on the show. And I've grown so much and learned so much. Before we get to our rapid fire questions, if people are listening to this, not if they are listening, watching, share really quick what your niche is, so that if there's someone out there listening, knowing they need help, they need a financial advisor, they say, that's me, I need to give her a call.
well, I'll just look directly at you and say, if you are a Christian woman between the ages of 30 to 55 and you're asking yourself, what's in my next stage? Where are
Mm,
we going in life after this? We've got the bills paid. We own the house. It's almost paid off. I love the life that we have, but what's next?
mm,
It's like we want that guide to get us through the next GPS. She may be a mompreneur, her husband may be the solopreneur, but they're wanting to have that really good financial communication. They
mhm.
want to be on the same page. They want to make those proactive financial decisions.
Yeah,
So they're decreasing their stress, increasing their joy, they're increasing family time. And in the long run, with a guide, they're actually saving money, but you're doing more. You're having more hours with your family. You're
yeah,
having more fun. You're having more life, and you're living it abundantly, and you're living it to the fullest, and you're living it joyfully.
yeah. I love
Um,
that.
you want to get out of that scarcity mindset. You want
Mm,
to know that there is an abundant life. I
yeah,
don't, I don't have to live in the fear of something come to steal, kill, or destroy the life
mm,
that I've dreamed of. And you get to learn to base your choices on biblical truths and be a good steward of what God's given you.
yeah. That's amazing. I think I could listen to you all day. Do you put out any free content like YouTube or anything like that that people can take a
I
look at?
do. I'm on Facebook. You can search for my name, and then underneath that, you can search for Sensibility, and it's sense like number sign,
Hmm.
CENTS ability financial solutions. I've got a Facebook page there I love posting on. I'm giving out free lives every Thursday.
Okay,
And and
that's
then
great.
so it's on there, it's there. I'd love to hear feedback from people and what they're struggling with. I am on LinkedIn underneath my name, Heather Gaunt Schmidt. And then I have a website, which is Cents for You. So it's CENTS, the number 4, YOU.com.
I love it. Well, we'll put all that in the show notes as well, too. All right, are you ready for some fun rapid fire questions?
All right, shoot.
All right, let's do it. What would you say is the key to success for you?
I believe my key to success is being open to change.
Mm, that's really good. What advice would you give to other business owners?
Don't be afraid to surround yourself with people ahead of you because
Mm,
they'll pull you up to the level they're at. So,
that's really good. Don't be afraid to surround yourself with people that are ahead of you. It's smart. Yeah. All right. Book or podcast? What are you reading or listening to right now?
oh, I am reading a great book by Sterling Harris. It's called How to Hear God. And he is a former NFL football player. I've actually met him in person, and
Oh, wow.
he has a beautiful family now, but I knew him before the marriage and the babies. And
Wow.
he's a little bit younger than me, but he's ahead of the road on me. So I'm
Mm,
definitely doing what I preach. So,
yeah. That's awesome. All right. This is a fun one and one I really enjoy. If you had a little bit of magic dust and could sprinkle it anywhere in your business, where would you sprinkle it?
and maybe pixie dust. I'm sitting here trying to think, like, those aren't words I use that often. Um, so, Tinkerbell pixie dust, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Where where would I want something to explode and be magical? I think right now it would be in marketing,
Mm,
because I know that's one of my weaknesses. So if I could
hmm.
just bring someone who's stronger in that area, and pixie dust is definitely stronger than me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just bringing that into the marketing so that I'm not struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
That's
can
really good.
hand that over, take my own advice, hand it over to someone else as I've, entered a newer season and growing that connection with potential clients and building relationships with other businesses,
Mm-hmm.
but utilizing that strength of that fairy marketer.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. It's so true. It's so true. I get it. Well, we've already shared where everybody can get in touch with you. And so I just want to encourage everybody to reach out to Heather and let her know that you heard her on our show today. So for our last question of the day, I'd like to know what is most inspiring you today?
I think what inspires me most right now within my journey is as I built connections, we're cheering each other on, we're supporting each other, we're learning each other's strengths and weaknesses to say, oh, I can help you with that. I'm like, really? Like, you totally understand that? And then it's like, they're like, well, I don't understand books. And it's like, I got you on that. So having that shared experiences in the room and you're at different levels and yet you're all still on the same journey and you're
Hmm.
still having struggles, but you don't feel like you're traveling alone.
Yeah, I like that. Not traveling alone. It's so good. Well, Heather, this was such a joy to have you on the show today. It was such a good conversation. I feel like we just really sat in a masterclass listening to just a wise teacher. So I just really appreciate you being here. And so for that, I just want to encourage everyone to save this show and come back and watch it because Heather really did give some great insights and some business advice and just financial life advice. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss a notification every time a new show drops, just like this one. Thanks for everyone for joining us today. But Heather, a special thank you to you. It was really a joy.
Heather, thank you so much. I've enjoyed our conversation. Look forward to another one. We'll see
Me
where we are in
too.
the future.
That's right. Me too. All right. Until next time, we'll see you. Bye bye.
Bye.